Explain like how I prepare for my final exam. So this is our Med-Surg book, this big book. Like we use this book for every chapter. And our Med-Surg 3 consisted of, let's see, what all did it consist of? Med-Surg 3 had, I can read it off my calendar because I got the chapters numbered on my book. It was the neuro and sensory exam. It was over, well, not the neuro sensory exam. It was over neuro and sensory. That's 2 chapters. And then musculoskeletal, mental health. See, musculoskeletal, mental health. So that it was 2 chapters. Yeah, so it was over 4, I think. 4 chapters is what our final exam was over. So throughout, like the whole time when the teachers, the instructors are teaching us. So the neuro and the skeletal systems in this book was the sensory disorders. It was chapter 53 and chapter 54 in the neurologic disorders. So when we're in class and we're studying, for each chapter, we highlight whatever the teacher says, okay, highlight this because this is going to be on the test. So we have that one teacher that teaches and we highlight everything. All the information that we study for each chapter. So once we go through each chapter and we study each thing, like each thing that I have highlighted, the second instructor comes through and she tells us, when we get ready to prepare for the final exam, she says, okay, so now I'm going to go over everything that has to do with your final exam. And then you go through your book. Like this was here at the top. Is like what we highlight to study for the chapter exam. Then this down here was highlighted. That's all of what we went over that was on the exam. You see those 2 double purple dots? That second teacher that comes back in there and tell us what to study for the final exam is double points of emphasis. Double points of emphasis. So that means, okay, if I give you a double point of emphasis on something, that's what's going to be on your final exam. So that is what you go back and study. So she went over all 4 chapters, like how many times? 2 or 3 times, I think. She went over it. I don't see it on here because it's so much wrote out in here, color-coded and everything. But when she went back over it, she did. She told us what we need to study. I have my stuff. I should have got all my stuff out together. I have all my stuff put together and out to go back and look at it. And I number it. I number everything. Like this. This is a urinary system. These are my notes. I circle everything. Like the stuff that I think would be to help, like whatever they say to know, I take it and I write it out, hand write it out, and then I take it and color code it with my pencils, not my pencils, my Papermate pens, and then by color coding it, I know, okay, if it's color coded, it's going to stick out to me more. And then I use my highlighters to highlight it so it'll pop out to me even more to remember the information that's given to me. So I did that for each chapter test. And then I got to where, okay, so now it's getting ready to increase. When we have the 2 chapters, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to handwrite my notes still. And I'm going to have to get my book out and study with my textbook, study my handwritten notes, and also make a Quizlet just to get it where I can actually have it in my head and I know and be extra prepared. Because you want to pass. Like, you got to put in the work. There's nothing handed to you. Ain't nothing in life free. You have to work hard for it. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And then this is the chapter that I'm explaining and telling y'all about sensory. This is what I highlight. That's a lot. And then I even underline what you know. If I start out with a pink and I highlight over it, that's going to turn it red. And you know, red, bright colors will stick with you. If nobody else tell y'all that, bright colors will stick with you. And that's a good way to help you remember. And this stuff, if you see this stuff again, even if you study this stuff now and you see it later on down the road, or if you're out in the field and you're working and you see this stuff, or you get a question that's something similar to any of this stuff that you learned throughout school, you're like, I remember that. Because you studied it. And as much as I study like really, really hard, not trying to brag or say I'm this or I'm that, but I'm just saying, you have to put in the work. You have to be determined. When it comes to nursing school, you have to give it 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. That's not even a number, a such thing, but you get what I'm saying. But that's how I study. And the more I learn from Med-Surg 1 to Med-Surg 2 to Med-Surg 3, that there's different ways to adapt, there's different ways to study, there's different ways to approach any of this stuff. So all of it, I've done different stuff, I've added more. It may seem like a lot, but once you start doing it, hey, whatever it takes. NCs do get degrees. You don't have to always make an A, you don't always have to make a B, but it depends on what your school is requiring you to make. Whatever your school requires you to make, that's what you have to make to pass those classes. And with Med-Surg, they require you to make nothing below a C. And me, I'm a B average student, so I'll be okay with getting a C, but I would rather prefer to have my B, so or I'll work extra hard to get the grade that I want, to make myself feel good and to feel like I really accomplished something and I worked hard to do it. And none of this is easy, and I'm gonna study hard. I just am, because that's just me. I'm not a competitive person, but I like to know the information, and I like for the information to stick with me in the long run. And this is the way that it's gonna stick with me in the long run. So I know I've babbled on a lot, and I've tried to make this video how many times this week? This is my third time I've tried in 2 days. I tried to make it the day that I had my final exam, and they changed it. Then I tried to make it, I tried to record this morning. I just couldn't get everything together. I was all off track. I was all over the place. I'll put some of those clips here at school. Waiting in my car. It is 8:43. Pray for me. Yeah. And then just now, I mean, I think I pretty much got this one all together. But, yeah. I hope it's helpful. If it's not helpful, I'll try to improve. If there's anything that y'all would like to see me post, or would like information on, or would want to know, like, anything, because I had to take a hissy to get into the practical nursing program. I haven't made a video about it yet, but I have the book. This is the book that I used and I studied, and it is a very good book. Very good book. I used that. I went on Facebook. Facebook has groups. I joined those groups, and I learned some stuff and studied some stuff from there. So if there's anything that you guys would like to see or would like to know, just ask. Leave me a comment. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when your girl posts a video. And until next time, bye guys.